first, let's dip. Ooh, this is why I wanted to eat this together. Tell me, how is she a bad vegan? Huh? Did she eat some steak? Did she kill a puppy? What did she do? No one finds you attractive, okay? No one thinks you're cool. Hey guys, it's Rose and welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan and another mukbang. Today you're watching another episode of Munching Mondays, which is my mukbang series. Mukbang is an eating show, so we are going to be eating together and we're gonna chat. So if that is your thing, then don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up this video. So today you guys, as you can see, we have yet another plant-based feast. I'm so excited. We're gonna be eating some plant-based panagari. Plant-based panago pizza. This one is their deluxe pepperoni. Hallelujah, praise Jesus. So if you are in Canada, you can order panago plant-based pizzas. They have a few different kinds and they're really good, okay? I've had them many times, okay? And with that, of course, we gotta do a little food combo. I wanted to try this thing right here. This is the instant tteokbokki spicy Korean rice cakes, instant tteokbokki that I found at H Mart that happens to be vegan. If you guys watched my H Mart haul, you saw how excited I was that I found this because A, like I don't even think I've ever had instant tteokbokki, and B, to find like a vegan instant tteokbokki is like a big deal, okay? So I thought I'd do a little review for you because I haven't actually tried this, okay? It looks a little questionable, okay? But either way, we're gonna try it together. Ooh, so instant tteokbokki and panagari. I also have the panago sweet mustard dip, which is vegan as well. So yeah, to drink, I have a little bit of bubbly thing. I made this yesterday, so it's not as like fizzy, but I'm too lazy at this moment and I just wanna eat. So today, as we're eating, I wanted to discuss the show Bad Vegan on Netflix. Okay, have you guys seen it? Let me know below because we're gonna discuss it. So I'm gonna say like spoiler alert, although it's not really like something where I feel like you can still watch it with spoilers. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't watch it. It's not worth it. Let's talk about it. So if you've seen it, let me know below. We're gonna talk about it today. Let's dig in first though. We gotta get started. We of course gotta get started with the panagar. Oh, seriously, so good. Let's have a little bite. Dip it in that sweet, sweet mustard. I also have sriracha, of course. My dudes, if you are in Canada and if you have not tried the panagar plant-based pizzas, you are missing out, my friends. I mean, the cheese is actually so realistic. And like I've had non-vegan friends eat this and they're like, I can't believe this is like vegan. Like it actually tastes like legit. And normally, I don't really like when people say that. Like I try not to say like, oh, I can't believe this is vegan, because it like implies that maybe vegan food isn't as good or something. But when it's like a substitute, I feel like you can say it. So like the vegan cheese is legit. The thing is, they use Daiya cheese or Daiya cheese. And I don't know if I've complained to you guys about this before, but do you find that when you buy Daiya, like in a grocery store, it has like a specific taste, like a very specific, like you know what I'm talking about, okay? The old school, the OG vegans, you guys know what I'm talking about. But it seems, from my experience, the Daiya cheese that they use in other restaurants, like at Panago and at certain other chains, a lot of places use Daiya cheese. It doesn't have that same taste. Like it actually tastes better. And I think somebody, actually, I think I've talked about this before. And somebody said that it's potentially because of like preservatives or something that goes into like the grocery stuff. But anyway, I want to get the corporate grade Daiya, okay? Mm. 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 All right. Here is the tteokbokki. Finally trying it. Ooh la la. Okay. Ooh, moment of truth. I hope I cooked it sufficiently. I cooked it a little longer than it said because it didn't look like it was done. You know what? It's kind of cute. I feel like it's really small portion though. I feel like they could have doubled it. Like, come on. Anyway, let's try it. Mmm. Pretty good. It's definitely like not homemade tteokbokki, right? Like it's definitely, like, let me show you. I don't know if you guys can see. It's definitely not homemade tteokbokki, you know? Obviously homemade or like any other kind of tteokbokki is better, but like for an instant kind, it's not too bad. I do feel like I could cook it a little bit longer. Like I did prepare it in the microwave according to the instructions, but I feel like I could cook it longer, but that's okay. It's nice and chewy. I mean, the rice cakes are good. Mmm. The sauce is pretty good. Yeah. All right. Next, slice of pizza. Very exciting. Mm. Why is pizza so good? Mmm. 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 We gotta talk about Bad Vegan. So, Bad Vegan. Me and Daniel actually talked about this on our podcast. That episode is either already out on our Patreon page, which I'll link down below, or it might be out publicly by now as well. I'm not sure, but we like kind of went into it in detail. So if you want like our full thoughts, you can listen to that episode. You should be listening to our podcast anyways. Ooh. Mmm. For those of you that watched the show, do you see why I'm eating pizza? Here's the thing about that show. If they named it something totally different, I actually don't think I would have such a problem with the show. But the fact that they named it Bad Vegan and some of the little things that they say on the show is what truly pisses me off, and it just makes me dislike the show even more. First, let's dip. Ooh, this is why I wanted to eat this together. Dipping the tteokbokki sauce. Mmm. 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 Oh. You gotta dip pizza in tteokbokki sauce. It's so good. Anyway, firstly, if this show, the title of this show, is not an example of how society loves to vilify vegans, I don't know what is. Because if you haven't seen the show, spoiler, the show has nothing to do with veganism. Like literally nothing. Nothing to do with veganism. The only thing is that the main character, Sarma, who was like a real person. This is a reality documentary, okay? Sarma happened to be a vegan restaurateur, okay? Is that the right term, restaurateur? Anyway. Mmm. 4 pieces. Basically, it's like I think it's like 6 or 7 episodes, and it's a documentary about this woman named Sarma who just happens to be a vegan restaurateur. So, or she used to be. So she owned a restaurant called Pure Food and Wine, which apparently was like a big deal in the New York culinary space, if you will. I'm not sure what years she was actually running it, but it was kind of like a little bit ahead of its time when kind of raw vegan stuff was becoming more trendy among the, you know, New York and California elites, you know, the Hollywood stars, you know, all the rich people that are like, ooh, I want some green juice. Give me a shot of the, you know, wheatgrass, you know, that kind of thing, you know? So I feel like it was very like bougie, one of those like really expensive, fine dining sort of raw vegan restaurants. That's kind of how they portrayed it as. Oh my God, I can't get enough of the sauce on the pizza. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, so they should make a rice cake pizza. Oh my God. So this Sarma character, you know, pretty blonde lady, you know. So long story short, I won't give you the full details, but basically Sarma had initially started the restaurant with her then partner, Matthew Kenny, I believe that's his name. He is like a big deal in like the plant-based food space. So anyways, they were like dating and then they started this restaurant. And then long story short, they ended up breaking up. Sarma ended up taking over the restaurant and she ended up owing, you know, the original investor guy like $2 million. And the restaurant was now under her name and like her management and everything. And then she met this dude randomly and kind of started this weird relationship with this dude. And he was like sketchy from the start, you know what I'm saying? And it seems that he is like a con artist, a sociopath, just like not a good person. And she ended up like in this supposed abusive relationship. Then they basically ran off without paying any of her employees, without paying the debts, and just like took off with like millions of dollars, stole millions of dollars. And that's kind of the story. Okay, that is the story. So now tell me, at what point are they gonna talk about veganism? Huh? Tell me, how is she a bad vegan? Huh? Did she eat some steak? Huh? What'd she do? Did she kill a puppy? What did she do? You know what she did? Nothing. I mean, she stole money, okay? She didn't do anything other than like obviously steal money, which has nothing to do with veganism. Like, what the hell? Another reason why the show like annoyed me is because Sarma just kind of like acted like a victim the whole time, wasn't very apologetic. Like she ended up screwing over a lot of different people and she didn't seem to be very apologetic. And obviously I understand that you can be in an abusive situation and you can be manipulated, and it does happen, even if it's really hard to believe. But there's something about her that I like just couldn't really believe, but maybe that's just my perception. And even if that's just my perception and she was totally brainwashed and abused, she could have still been a little more apologetic. I felt like she was just very like nonchalant about the fact that she kind of screwed over a lot of her own employees who happened to be really close with her before all of this happened. So what really just annoyed me, okay, first of all, I don't even know, someone tell me, okay? They didn't really talk about like why or when she went vegan. They just kind of jumped into, oh, she started a vegan restaurant. That's it. They didn't even like discuss why or when or how, or if she was even vegan. So I was kind of confused the whole time, because just because you own a vegan restaurant doesn't mean you're vegan, right? Just because you own a plant-based restaurant doesn't even mean you're completely plant-based. You could be a non-plant-based person and own a plant-based restaurant, okay? If you're gonna title the show Bad Vegan, at least go into a little bit of a backstory as to why or how or when, or if she is even vegan. you know? They didn't touch on any of that, so I don't even know. I mean, it did say later on, like at the very end, that she is vegan, but I don't know the full story, okay? I don't know the full story. My hunch was that she's plant-based, you know, the raw vegan space. Like, a lot of these people are kind of like really health-focused people that avoid animal products for the health reason. I'm not gonna get into that debate today, but you know how I feel about that. Look, I have nothing against people that eat plant-based for health. I think that's awesome, great, fantastic, lovely. I just like have a problem with that being labeled vegan, just like any other, you know, vegan, because veganism is about ethics. But anyways, so they don't even tell us the backstory, why she went vegan, when she went vegan, if she is even vegan, whatever. And basically, ultimately at the very end, what they ended up doing was running away, and they were fugitives, okay? Because they owed so much money, they stole all this money, and they ran, and they were like in hiding, okay? This woman, Sarma, and her, you know, sociopath person. I think they were, yeah, they got married at some point too. Anyways, so they got married, and they were running away, they were hiding, they were under like an alias and everything. Apparently when they were running, they were staying in separate hotel rooms. And the reason why they got caught is because they ordered a Domino's pizza and maybe some other things like chicken wings or something to their hotel room. And that got traced via the card, and that's how they found them. And then this is why the media, I guess even at that time, ran with the story that Sarma is a fake vegan. Oh my God, we caught her red-handed eating Domino's. As if that's the most important part of this story. The fact that she stole literally millions of dollars from people, that part is not the part you wanna focus on. You wanna focus on the fact that there's a vegan that may have cheated once. And the fact is, the crazy thing is, it wasn't even her that ordered. It wasn't even her that ordered the Domino's. It was the guy. And they were staying in separate hotel rooms. So he ordered it to his room. So like, clearly that was very clear that it wasn't her. But of course, who cares about the truth when you can make a vegan look bad, right? You see why I'm mad? So, they ran with the story, the media and everyone ran with the story that she's a fake vegan, you know? She's ordering Domino's, stealing money from people. What a bad vegan, you know? Like, all vegans must be bad. Anyways, look, a piece of rice cake on a pizza. And then there was this like one guy in the show that they were interviewing. I think he was like a journalist or something. He just kept throwing so much shade at vegans, you know? Initially when Sarma got brainwashed by this dude, he just kept saying a lot of nonsense, okay? He basically promised that he could make her and her dog immortal. Okay, let me tell you right now, I know a number of vegans and I know 0 vegans that would fall for that, okay? But this journalist dude said something like, oh, you know, vegans, they tend to believe in that sort of spiritual, like crystal sort of thing. And you people ask me why I don't want to be associated with raw vegans. No offense if you're a raw vegan. I mean, I don't think raw vegans would watch this video, but I think that's something more associated with the raw vegan movement. This is why I have a problem with the term raw vegan, okay? It should be called raw foodist or something, okay? Because it really just paints vegans in a very different light than we should be. Because the fact of the matter is, no, vegans are not all about crystals and woo-woo things, okay? Listen, if you're into that, great, fantastic, great, okay? But if somebody tells you that they can make you or your dog immortal, run. Just run. The funny thing is, I am vegan, right? And I'm probably the least crystal believing, you know, spiritual type of person that I know. Like, I am literally the least what is the term? Like least woo-woo? I don't want to say woo-woo because that sounds condescending, but like, you know what I mean? I don't believe in any of that. Even compared to my non-vegan friends, I'm probably the least likely person to believe any of that. So please, no. I'm like full-on atheist, do not believe in any of this. Like, no, you are not going to make me immortal. That would be nice, but I know it's not gonna happen, especially not some random dude that I met on the internet. So anyways, so that was the one of the first jabs toward vegans, you know? I'm like, vegans just believe in this crazy stuff. They're just crazy. And then y'all like to pretend that you don't do any character assassinations against vegans. Are you kidding me? And then, this was the kicker. So when Sarma got caught, again, the same journalist, he's like, you know, it's funny because vegans like to think of themselves as better than everybody else. They don't kill animals. They're better for the environment. I'm like, you're describing it correctly. Yep. And basically he's saying like, oh, how hypocritical. A vegan stole a bunch of money, even though she thinks she's better than everybody. And I'm like, bitch, this has nothing to do with veganism once again, okay? This is literally just like her issue and their issue. It has nothing to do with veganism. And the fact that he just kept bringing up the vegan thing, it's like, why, okay? Why? At least other shows like Tinder Swindler, the titles like make sense, you know what I'm saying? But it's, of course, if you have a chance to shit on a vegan, why wouldn't you? Because they know that the title Bad Vegan is gonna get a lot of views. Mm-hmm. What I want to know is, did this Sarma character know about the title? Did she? Because like, did you want to agree to that title? Did ya? I'm sure she got paid quite a bit for that. But still, like, I don't know. Like, as a vegan, I would not approve of that title. So, if there's anything that I've learned from this show is just how far people would go to bash vegans for absolutely no reason. Like, I'm so sorry that we as a group collectively try not to harm animals. Like, I'm so sorry that we are actively trying not to harm the environment. I'm so sorry about that. And one person decides to steal a bunch of money, and all of a sudden, we all get shit on as if we all did that. Like, ugh. Come on, people. Come on. Seriously? And I genuinely thought maybe like the society's attitude toward veganism has become a little better in the last few years. And then I joined TikTok. Oh, I joined TikTok and I'm like, wow, God, it's like the last few decades of hard work that us vegans did amounted to nothing. No. Rice cake, pizza. So yeah. So aside from like the vegan thing, like I mentioned, the one thing that I found a bit irritating is this kind of like narrative that Sarma was simply a victim and that was it. Like, she's the victim. she didn't do anything wrong, essentially, except for be fooled by this man. But personally, I don't know what you guys think. I wanna know what you guys think. I personally like watched it and I thought, she's not telling the whole truth. Like there's something that she is trying to hide for sure. She was in on it more than she makes it out to be. And I feel like she was a lot more aware than she makes it out to be. Like she acts like she was in some kind of hypnosis for like a few years. And listen, I do understand once again that you can be manipulated and you can be taken advantage of, but at the same time, you can't just like, I don't know, like to me, there's some level of I don't know, what's the term, like responsibility, I guess? Unless like they were literally keeping her in a cage and brainwashing her 24/7, then maybe it's a different story. But she was out and about, she was interacting with other people. I don't know, like how much responsibility do you think someone like that should take when they themselves like screwed over their own employees and their business, didn't pay them and stole a bunch of money, and then later claimed that she was just brainwashed and abused. Oh, I was just like abused and brainwashed, like maybe to a certain extent. But it's like, you're also an adult? I don't know, like it's kind of a tough one, I guess. I think if she was a lot more apologetic and seemed more genuine in the way that she presented herself, then I think I would be a lot more sympathetic toward Sarma. But I think it was her attitude. I don't think she apologized once. She didn't seem to feel bad about what she did, about like screwing over her employees. And it just seemed very, I don't know, not believable that she was upset about, you know, her wrongdoings. It seemed that she just kept telling herself she was a victim. Do you guys hear that? The engine? Let me tell you. My biggest pet peeve, that is my biggest pet peeve. Dudes, it's always dudes, okay? Maybe there's like one woman, okay? It's always dudes, let's be honest. Dudes revving their engine so loudly and driving for no reason, okay? No one finds you attractive, okay? No one thinks you're cool other than the other dudes doing the same dumb shit. I'm sorry. It is the most annoying thing in the history of annoying things. Like, please tell me that I'm not the only one. I swear, if like a man revs his engine like that and disturbs the peace, biggest red flag, okay? It's like, how insecure are you? How insecure are you that you need to do that? I know people like cars and engines or whatever. Do it out in the boonies, okay? Don't disrupt my peace. It is so loud. I can hear it from inside the apartment. People are enjoying their walk. They're leisurely drinking coffee and you are disturbing the peace. Am I wrong? Okay. All right. Anyway. So that was a bad vegan. Again, if you listen to our podcast episode, we go into a lot more detail. So if you want our full thoughts, very unfiltered, then go check out the podcast. Let me know, like, if someone is brainwashed, like an adult is brainwashed and manipulated, how much responsibility does that person have for the wrongdoings? You know? Because here's the thing. I really think it should be like a case-by-case situation, obviously, because I recently watched Puppet Master. Have you guys seen that one? Whew, crazy. What is up with these psychopaths? Okay? I can't, okay? People, if you have a brain, use it for good. The scariest thing is a very smart psychopath. That is the scariest thing on earth. This is why when people value intelligence over anything, it scares me, because intelligence isn't always a good thing when it's used in the wrong way. People always talk about intelligence like it's such a good thing. No, not really. Not really. It can be used in a totally bad way, and it has been done many, many times, okay? Just like charisma, not always a good thing. Anyway, so in the Puppet Master, there was a girl that ended up getting basically like very, very brainwashed, and then she basically was like essentially in captivity in a way under this other guy, right? And she ended up constantly asking her parents for money for whatever reason. Anyways, she was fully brainwashed. She was like fully abused. I feel like she had no control. Like they took away her like passport and all her identification. So basically she was like a battered down human being. And she was very remorseful, and I definitely felt really, really bad for her. And in that case, I think that she was like 100% a victim because of all the circumstances of that case. But then when I look at this like bad vegan story or Sarma's story, I don't know, it's hard for me to believe, but maybe I just like am missing something. Maybe I just didn't like her attitude. But yeah, I know it's like a tough one because how can you really prove fully, oh, someone was brainwashed or not? You know, like, is that easy to prove? Who knows? Rice cake on pizza. One last rice cake. Okay, so I've concluded this is worth it as a side to something, to dip something in. On its own, I feel like I just feel really unsatisfied. Or you could add things into it, right? Like I could probably add some vegan cheese in here. I could add some like vegan hot dogs, just make it more like filling, and then have it as like a meal. On its own, it's very just like, it's literally just rice cakes, which is fine, but Alright friends, well I am stuffed. I ate 5 pieces of pizza. Lord! Woo! I mean, let's face it, we all knew I would eat at least 5 pieces, right? Anyways, that was my pizza and tteokbokki mukbang. We talked about bad vegan and why that title is so bad. But let me know, guys, if you did watch it. Let me know your thoughts. If you agree with me or disagree with me, let me know. I would love to know your opinions on that show. And once again, we did go in detail in my podcast, which is the SaVeg podcast. We have a YouTube channel and we're also on all the big podcast platforms. So definitely check us out. We would love it if you would listen. We do weekly episodes, and on our Patreon, we do a bonus Patreon exclusive episode every single month where we get a little bit more raw, a little bit more juicy. So that's available as well. And on our Patreon, you get all the episodes a week earlier than everyone else. So the episodes are a lot more timely. So if you want to listen to the most recent episode, then definitely go on to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. And of course, subscribe to our podcast YouTube channel. And yeah, let me know if there's any other shows I should watch. We could discuss them on the mukbang. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. And of course, if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe, and I will link my mukbang playlist down below. So if you guys want to watch my previous mukbangs and eat together, then you can do that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!